Call this meeting of the Township Board of Trustees to order at 7:30. Please call roll.
Yes. Trustee Olmsted.
Here.
Trustee Cole is absent. Trustee Bear.
Present.
Legal counsel Jim Aston here, and fiscal officer Brian Schlett is here. Stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Yeah, we have no public comment related to the agenda. We'll hear first from our Township Administrator, Gary Owenowski.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. First, I want to send my thoughts and prayers to Trustee Cole and his family this evening. I'm just checking the kids. Should be the last one, I think. Hope everyone had a happy Valentine's Day. Your significant other or by yourself. Hopefully you enjoyed the day. Want to just make note, and I'm sure Lieutenant Dahlhaus will mention, we have a visiting firefighter from Germany, Christoph Schneider. We welcome him. Hopefully he's enjoying his time here, and the fire department isn't beating him up too bad. Last week, we had the opportunity to attend the Ohio Township Association. It was a very good conference, good team building, quite a bit. So I was happy to attend that. Just want to make mention, Director Williams may say something about this tonight, but this time of year is really difficult. We go through these temperature swings and freeze that fall out, which really do a number on our roads. So as anyone's out there driving, if you notice potholes or anything, please report those to our service department. I know his department does a great job staying on top of those, but we just want to make sure we get those addressed accordingly. Last week, there was 2 new subdivisions, well phased and a new subdivision. So Willow Grove got approval through the County Planning Commission. We've already received some plans for that, so they're looking to kick off here shortly. And also the Preserve Phase 3B received approval. A couple weeks ago, we did meet with the mayor of North Olmsted, Nicole Daly Jones. It was a very positive meeting. This last Wednesday, we actually had a follow-up meeting with their economic development team. Really just a high-level meeting just to discuss maybe some opportunities between both Township and North Olmsted. So we appreciate, her and her staff for having us. With the county, we continuing to move forward with reviewing smoke test results and the steps moving forward. I did speak with the county. They are going to be implementing some flow monitors in various portions of the township to get a better idea of some of our high infiltration rates. So as soon as they get some results on that, I'll be more than happy to share it. We've had some discussions with some potential new developments in the city. One is Redwood Properties, and that would be on West Bagley Road. And tonight we just had a discussion with Pride One about a development within our town center. Both are very high-level discussions at this point, so we look forward to working with those applicants as they move forward. The trustees had some further discussion in regards to senior transportation connection. I think they did a great job trying to get the right down, and now it's about ironing out some of the details of the contract. So look for that contract in the upcoming meetings. Work with Kevin Shabesta. He put together an HR policy and procedure for the township hiring a new position and positions to fill. This basically is just a format and provides a guideline for all new hires, what's required, when, who does what. So it's very informative, so we can start following the process. On tonight's agenda, you'll see the acceptance of and dedication of Laurel Lane. This was a small section of a street that was actually deeded to the township trustees. It was never formally dedicated to the township. So we're just looking at formalizing that. And then I wanted to make mention that our dog park grand opening is going to be on April 27th. It's a Saturday. Right now we're planning from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. So we hope everyone can join us for that.
Mr. Chairman, that's my report.
All right. Thanks very much, Gary. We'll move on to our Economic Development Director. Go a little bit out of order here. Jeremy's here with us tonight.
And I do want to update the records. Trustee Cole is participating online, so you can see, he is online. So
He'll be present by Zoom.
Okay, well, thank you for the opportunity to address the board. I'd like to touch on a few items here with my report. I'll start with our work with the existing business community. We continue our outreach to commercial properties, business owners in the real estate context to understand challenges and identify opportunities. Last year, we distributed a quarterly electronic newsletter to 118 contacts, which included business owners, real estate contacts, and township staff. The newsletter had an open rate between 48 and 65%, which is above industry average. And the next e-news will be sent out at the end of March, so coming up next month. These outreach efforts have resulted in discussions about two potential large projects in the town center area, Bagley and Stearns. Both projects are in early stages, but it's exciting to have interest in this area and to have some development concepts moving forward. Switching to the Olmsted JED. I think everyone knows this is the largest development area in the community, so advancing development in this area is certainly a priority. Working with our partners at Team Neo and with the Cuyahoga County Department of Development, we've gathered utility and other due diligence information. So the central 80-acre JED property can be designated as a primary or priority development area through the regional right sites and state site Ohio programs. So this month, the JED property completed the intake process with Team Neo to be included in its right site program. The JED site is now featured on the website and social media and other outlets as they promote development sites throughout the region. And the property is now at the front of Team Neo, which is the regional economic development group's pipeline for industrial and distribution projects in this part of the state. The JED site's also advancing through the state site Ohio program. So this is a similar program. The property's in the last stages of the process, which includes a site visit by a state consultant who's evaluating the site for readiness for development. Once included in this program, the Olmsted JED property will be again featured at the state level as a primary location for development that's ready for development, and then also one of the first authenticated sites within Cuyahoga County. So some positive movement in the JED. Lastly, the town center place identity plan. So last year, the township engaged Guide Studio to develop a town center place identity plan. The goal of that project was to develop a plan focusing on streetscape improvements that could identify and better define the town center as the first step in improving the area's physical appearance. After several stakeholder meetings and work sessions with township staff, the town center place identity plan is now complete, and we've started working on the suggestions laid out in that plan. The first task we're undertaking is a feasibility study to determine how to design and construct a streetscape and multi-purpose plan recommendations. The township has released an RFP to the design community requesting proposals to complete the feasibility study, and those proposals are due back by March 1st. So we're excited to review those proposals, get a consultant on board, and start moving forward with this important project. The implementation of these physical improvements in both the public and then private realms in the town center will really help to establish the quality and character of the area, and I think boost its reputation and really demonstrate to residents and visitors that this is a place that's cared for, and a place that's cared for and well loved is often a place that people want to live and they want to have a business. Please fine.
All right, any questions?
Thanks, Jeremy. I just want to thank you again for all the work you've done. This past year, you've been with us, you've moved us forward in so many areas that we haven't even seen any kind of movement on. So kudos to you. You've done a phenomenal job, and what you've done with the Judd property and getting it ready for advertising is a huge step forward for us. So appreciate all you're doing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for what you do for.
Yeah, great work. Can we also get a copy of your report for the ministry?
Yeah, I'll send it.
Thank you.
Send it to Tracy.
Yeah.
Very good.
Mr. Chairman.
Yep.
I forgot during my report, I did receive a letter I was hoping I could share with
Please, yeah,
people.
go ahead.
Can I just do it from here? Is that okay? Okay, I received a letter on February 5th, 2024 from the Department of Commerce. I won't read the whole letter. I'll just read a couple paragraphs that I think are important. The letter is regarding television complaints. The Video Service Authorization Program administers the cable law on behalf of the Director of Commerce. The program offers local governments and consumers resources and information about the standard of cable service they should expect. As the cable industry continues to evolve, our liaison efforts are more important than ever. We encourage consumers to reach out with questions, concerns, and comments if they are not receiving clarity or resolution from their cable TV service provider. Our cable TV consumer hotline, 877-207-2225, can help you and your residents with cable TV related complaints such as who owns a down or unburied cable line, billing disputes, poor picture quality, equipment malfunctions, canceled or missed service appointments, and many other cable TV related concerns. The program does not have the authority to regulate the rates offered by cable TV providers, nor do we regulate satellite companies, internet service, or streaming services like Netflix and Hulu. And then the letter concludes with her contact information. So I thought it was important just to share that. So if anybody wants a copy or needs a number for the hotline, feel free to.
Can you tell us what the number is again?
Sure, it's 877-207-2225. 2225.
Thanks, Brian.
And we can have a copy of that included in the minutes too, so if anybody wants to access it.
Brian, I'll get you one.
Tracy.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jeremy. Yeah, sorry, folks. I wanted to go a little out of order so that way we could be respectful of Jeremy's time here. Moving on back into our normal order, trustee and committee reports. Trustee Cole is present via Zoom. I'm not going to put him on the spot here, so we'll let trustees Bear go.
Yeah, well, you just heard the latest about the JED, so that's a huge step forward. We're really, really excited. To be actually front and center with the state of Ohio is a big deal. So he's done an amazing job. Just real quickly, I did attend the Ohio Township Association conference. It was a great conference. Met a lot of people. Mary Beto was there. Did a lot of networking, which is always really, really important. With local townships and some, other elected officials, those types of things. Attended the Clout meeting, which we are part of because we're the 80th largest township in the state of Ohio. And there's 1,308 townships, so that tells you that we're a pretty big size township. Anyway, and they had a lot of legislative information to share that. So that was a good, like I said, a really good conference. Always learn something every time you go. And the classes were terrific. So that's the end of my report.
Thank you, trustees Bear. No report tonight from trustee Cole. I just got a text back from him. For my report, I'm going to read this brief proclamation. Former township trustee and longtime community leader Robert Van Effra passed away about 2 weeks ago, a little bit less than that. So wanted to take this opportunity to recognize his life and his legacy of service, not just to the township as a trustee of 22 years, which is a tremendously long time. I think just doing it for 2 years is taking a lot out of me, so I can't imagine doing it for 22. But having said that, he also was very active in the schools, and I'll just read this proclamation tonight. And it'll be read into the record, and hopefully we'll get it to a member of his family as well. This condolence here. So, whereas Robert Van Effro was a lifetime resident of the Olmsted community, graduated from Olmsted Falls High School in 1955, and was elected into the Distinguished Alumni Hall of Fame in 2000. And whereas Robert was a beloved educator in the Olmsted Falls school system until he retired in 1992 after 30 years of service. He was a chemistry teacher and chaired the science department, was a 20-year student council advisor and coach of varsity football, varsity track, 8th grade basketball, advisor of the ice hockey team, organizer and advisor of the high school key club for over 15 years. And whereas Robert served on the Olmsted Township Board of Trustees for over 22 years, from 1970 through 1989, and then again from 1998 through 2000. In addition, he served on multiple other boards throughout the community, including the Southwest General Hospital Board, the Annual Support Committee, and co-chaired the hospice fundraising campaign in the Olmsted community. Robert helped organize the Olmsted Falls Schools Endowment and Alumni Association and served as both its president and director. Whereas Robert was very active in the community, serving in the Kiwanis Club of Olmsted Falls for over 52 years, serving as president of the club in the 1980s. He received many awards during that time, including Legion of Honor, Tablet of Honor, and the Harold Martin Fellowship. He was a member of the Kiwanis Civic Development Foundation that built the Harding Memorial Wooden Bridge in Olmsted Falls. Whereas Robert was a cherished member of Olmsted Township, he made an indeterminable impact on the residents of the Olmsted community, especially those students he taught, and we are forever grateful for his many contributions to the 44138 community. Therefore, be it proclaimed that the Olmsted Township Board of Trustees, on behalf of the entire Olmsted Township community, hereby pledges to continue the work of former trustee Robert Van Effro as we mourn his loss with his family and all those who knew and loved him.
Very nice.
All right, very good. We'll move on now to department reports. We'll see. We'll go with fire first. Lieutenant Delhausen.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me here tonight. My name is Lieutenant Dawes. I'm filling in for Chief Muffin. I couldn't make it. First off, I'd like to let you know we're doing some training, actually tomorrow at the schools. We'll be teaching some CPR and stuff to staff and teachers at the schools. Approximately 8 hours going on tomorrow. This week or last week, we also we have a handful of fire inspectors. We attended, 4 of us attended a class in Independence for continued education. We did also EMS training this month. We're concentrating on geriatric trauma and treatment. Also, this quarter, the fire rescue training is considered in the area of dementia and pre-hospital implications. As far as equipment and facility, I want to give a shout out to the service department. They did a great job. They did some cleanup, also a lot of painting around the station. That was definitely needed. Looks very nice. So I want to stop by a couple different color changes. We're also continuing the station cleanup. We have a bunch of our crews. We're trying to get rid of some expired and unused items. Grant updates, AFG grants opening, they opened on January 29th. We also have an Ohio State Fire Marshal grant application that we've already filed. And then lastly, there's an Ohio EMS grant that we were awarded, and we've already used it to purchase some performing supplies. So, miscellaneous items, Cub Scout Weevils visited the station. They're awarded the responder award that was done with firefighter Rastel and firefighter Shinsky on January 30th. Sergeant English brought the Weevils troop for a tour, and we also did some first aid information and training with them. We've also attended the Columbia Park Tenants Association meeting. on February 8th and talked to fire safety. And then lastly, personnel wise, we have a special guest here. I'm gonna have him go ahead and introduce himself real quick.
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Christoph Schneider. I'm from Cologne, Germany. I'm a fully trained firefighter in Germany and also an EMT. When I finished my training there, I decided I want to advance my career and started a study which is called rescue engineering. It's comparable to your fire science study, and part of that study is an internship. And in Germany, I used to have a roommate, which is from America, he's from this area here actually, and his father is a firefighter at Olmsted Township. That's how we got in touch, and that's how I ended up here. So now I'm basically shadowing different fire departments, dispatch centers, all in the Cleveland suburbs, and enjoy my time here in America.
Awesome. Take back all the good things.
Really is it?
We have the best fire trucks.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's been with us since the 12th until tomorrow. You're like, yeah. Then he's moving out to East Cleveland next, so. I'm sure, nice, yeah.
That'll be a job, yeah.
And that's all we have, so. Thank you very much for having me.
Thanks.
All right. All right, next up, Service Department report. Williams.
Evening, everyone. Service Department's report for the 15th of February. I'll be brief because as you can imagine, what we should be doing, our crew, most of without the white stuff on, it's pretty challenging, but we seem to be overcoming it, not complaining, so it doesn't snow the rest of the year. I directed Cuyahoga County Public Works to mitigate some stormwater issues on the west end of Bagley. That was completed. We were successful, a lot of standing water in 2 parcels, and we did rectify that situation. That's great. Also, our crew has been doing some extensive ditching for the same stormwater mitigation just north here on Fitch, up in those 3 parcels. We also are doing a lot of vegetation control with our new boom mower. Usher Road, Sprague Road, Sharp. So we're keeping busy with vegetation. A lot easier to do when there's not leaves on the trees. Some township, our park fund, we're still moving forward, working on the fencing. We're working on quotes for the pavilion. We have built custom benches in-house, our crew. Those are completed, not installed yet. So we're moving forward on that. We had a great meeting, administrator and myself with Alan Seaworth. He is the owner of Burr Oak Training and Consultant and Design. He's a wealth of knowledge on anything tree related. It's pretty impressive, but the meeting was pertaining to our future tree planting for our community and our park. Our crew, as the administrator mentioned, we're keeping up on our potholes. Not too many this year, but we're definitely doing our diligence to keep up on those throughout our township and county roadways. Great news that we got our branch chipper delivered this Tuesday. I want to thank the board again for seeing the value to adding that to our, if you will, our arsenal. Keeps us the cost efficiency, the convenience, access when we need it, the time savings that it's at our location, the flexibility to customize our needs, and the dependability we get to maintain. So I think you guys are very excited. We are utilizing it already. So facilities, extensive painting at fire department. My guys have been there for about a month, doing a great job. We're also getting quotes for a ceiling repair due to a sprinkler system that failed there. We're also getting quotes at our PD. It's basically enhancement. It is a added window in the sergeant's office. And we're looking at quotes for the hospital parking lot expansion also at the police department. Grants, I did apply for the H2O. This is the H2O Rivers Initiative Chlorine Reduction Grant. This is through the EPA. It was due on the 31st. It was turned in. This is for $75,000. This is for the purchasing of any piece of equipment that will help reduce your usage of rock salt. So we are currently putting in for more than 75. We're looking to get a slide-in pre-wetting unit that actually slides into an existing truck. It pre-wets the salt. Not only what that does is not only activates the salt before it hits the ground, and it also weighs the salt down. So when it does hit the ground, it's less bounce and less waste, which is reducing the usage. Right now, rock salt, just regular rock salt, has a high bounce rate, and about 30% of it actually stayed on the roadway to replant. So this is a vital piece of equipment that will help us be way more efficient. We also delivered our community recycling awareness grant. That was due on the 1st of February. This pays for our educational magnets and our 2 shred events. That is for $6,000 that grant. Training, again, Alan Seaward, we're doing a basic ropes and rigging on the February 27th. This is the utilization of bucket trucks and the utilization of ropes while you're doing that. So it's a really good safety thing for my guys to be a part of. Today I participated in a webinar for the snow removal for walking and biking development and winter management plan. That was today at 1 o'clock. A lot of great information that I will report back to the board. And also, my guys today took a 811 excavator program. That's basically the 811 call before you dig. It's vital that even residents are responsible to do that. And I want to thank also the board for the opportunity to be able to go to the OTAs. As Lisa, Trustee Zvier mentioned, it was a great opportunity to meet other department heads. I think it was just a great building for our township people. It's a great experience, so I appreciate it. I also want to appreciate Chairman Brian Young for the awesome tour at your house, State House. I've seen it from afar and outside, but very impressive to learn the Ohio history and things that are in that building. It's absolutely beautiful. So I appreciate the opportunity. Mr. Chairman, that concludes my report unless there's any questions.
Thanks, Eric. Any questions?
No.
You good? All credit goes to Rep. Sweeney on the tour, so you can thank her. All right. Continuing on, Police Department report. Okay, Chief Adler.
Hey, good evening, everyone. A couple things that I'd like to go over first is just recognize my personnel, and I have Cody Reeser. Cody is he's been with us now 6 years as of yesterday. And Cody, just a little bit about Cody. He's our second shift patrol. He works the night shift. Cody wears a lot of hats. He's a drone operator. He's our evidence technician, and right now he's aspiring to be the next part-time SRO. We have a vacancy there that we're trying to fill, and Cody really has, he not only in his time that he interacts with the community, he likes to talk to kids, but he's also coaches youth football in Elyria as well. So Cody really has a passion, if you will, to work with the younger children of our community and also other communities. So we're hoping that Cody can be our next part-time SRO and maybe someday a full-time SRO. Moving on to training, got a lot of things going on right now. We got Danny the Titus. Dan has been with us for only a couple years now, and he's going through his traffic crash level 1. It's actually a 40-hour class. It's beyond what they receive in basic training through academies. It's the next step, if you will. So he has an interest in that, and we're hoping that maybe he takes it even further and becomes like a traffic crash technician for our department. It requires a lot of math. So if you want to do this job and do that, you've got to know your math. So, some people shy away from it because of that, but Dan's meeting it head on. The next thing we have is Officer Hare and Officer Reeser. They're going through Alice instructor. That's 16 hours. And once again, Alice is going to be
It's the training that we received to basically, for officers, to pass that on information on to our schools and also to the students in there of how to stay safe in the event of an active shooter. So they're getting their instructor cert in 16 hours of that. And the 2-day course. Also, Officer Hare is also going through a class called Understanding Today's Threats Against Schools. It's a sad state that we live in, but as we all know, we want to stay on top of that, and he's doing an 8-hour class as well. For the rest of the department, we're all doing our annual in-service taser training, which is going to start this Friday, February 16th. That's put on by just our in-house staff, which is Leo Spagnola and a couple other pro officers that are our defense tactics instructors that put that on annually. This is a requirement that we have to do through the state of Ohio to make sure we stay certified on the things that we carry, i.e. the taser. A couple other things I went to today. I was fortunate enough to be able to attend the Cannabis County Chiefs of Police Association meeting, which was at the Cleveland Browns Stadium, and got to network with a lot of different other chiefs from the greater Cleveland area. It was very great. But the other thing is not just networking and going for a great luncheon, but they have guest speakers there. And today's guest speaker that they brought in was from the Adams Board. And one thing they spoke about and passed on was the 40-hour CIT training for law enforcement officers. With that, that's a crisis intervention. So any officers interested in receiving this training covers basically review of mental health, illness and substance abuse. Also covers what we have to do in emergency situations if we had to pink slip somebody. It also covers overview of new county diversion centers that are there and de-escalation strategies, scenario-based activities, and more. But the nice thing about this training is they wanted to say that each police department can send as many as 4 officers and they'll receive reimbursement to the amount of $150 per day. And this helps remove some of the financial barriers of training. So I want to go back and see if there's anybody in our department that might be interested in going and doing this training, because I think it's very valuable, because a lot of times the calls we go on, people are suffering from these types of crises. I think this is very valuable, and this is a great opportunity to receive some great training locally at a very discounted price. So it was great information, and I hope I have some takers. If not, some people may be voluntold. Yeah. Moving on, also, a couple things through our station, just to be a little bit more efficient. We operate a lot of times with smaller printers, HPs, black and white ones. Got one for starting at COVID, so he's not getting too many steps in for the day. And then we also got 2 for our student resource officers to be in the schools. The nice thing is they have their offices there, but we want them to be efficient and to be where they're able to dedicate their time in their offices and be able to complete report and do things there instead of each time wasting time, if you will, or just being more efficient by being able to complete reports and do everything from their office, if you will. So we got those up, and they've already been put in the schools, and they're up and running. And thanks to the school system for helping them get those set up to the Wi-Fi and everything else. A couple other things, just a couple other small items. We got rifle slings to augment and replace worn damage inventory for Blue Force gear. Some of them getting beat up and just being in the cruisers all the time, and then we also use them on some of our training needs as well. We're also receiving quotes from DNA Armory in Columbia Station for trading in our red dots that we have on our optics. They've been now almost 5 years. And we're going to be replacing those by a company called HoloSun. It's a green dot, a little easier to pick up on the eyes. And not only that, but the one thing is technology changes, and we're not just going for what's best and cool. But the nice thing is the batteries have to be changed out annually, and there's a side door for it. You can change it out. The older versions we have now, unfortunately, you have to remove the entire optic. The battery has to be changed, put back on the gun. Have to be re-zeroed. So it's quite a process, and it's really not that efficient, if you will. Moving on to the next thing, just some miscellaneous items. We have SimDay working on syncing our department as well as Olmsted Police Department Rise and Connect mapping. We use that not only on our MDTs, but we have it throughout the station. We can have it on an iPad and phones and see where all our cruisers are and be able to know where all our assets are at all time. I've talked with Chief Rogers also involved, and we think it's a great idea. that if we can have both married together, we can see both accounts. This way, if our officers are going to back somebody up in the neighboring city, they're able to do so efficiently. So, Simbay's working on that. Also, we had our department command staff meeting, that was on Wednesday, February 7th. A couple things are brought up by the guys, just small things. We need to purchase some new digital cameras for our patrol operations. There's just when our guys are out in the field, they have to take pictures of traffic crashes or incidents. The ones we have they're telling us, hey, chief, you're like 5 years old, they're getting old, they're starting to show some wear and tear and not work so well. So be replacing those at a very small fee. And Officer English brought up a very good thing. He used to be our SRO. He talked about going with a smaller wrap restraint system. We have those in place right now, but they're for adults. But they do have one that is for somebody that's a little smaller stature. What it is a device that can be put on a person that may be experiencing a crisis or possibly being combative with the officer. By having the smaller one, we can even use it not only on smaller stature people, but somebody that may be experiencing a crisis, even at the schools, middle school. So we've had that situation, and it's just not a great optic to have officers holding some kid down for a long time until the squad arrives. This is a safer way to reduce injury to not only the officer, but to the student as well. So that's something we're looking into, and we're going to be reaching out to wrap restraints and getting a little bit more information on that. The other thing too is Unit Solutions is a training reality vantage rifle. It's used in our wheelbase, our scenario-based training. What I like about this rifle platform is they're from Akron, Ohio. The beauty of this system is it's not capable of chambering a real round. So there is no chance of actually a real round being chambered. I hate to put them on the spot, but like simunition, you can chamber a real round. This takes it off it takes it right away. You can't put a real bullet in it, but it does provide the officers then to be able to use it for like airsoft or marking cartridges, similar to like a paintball. So when we do a reality-based training, much safer, no chance of introducing live rounds into a facility. So that's something we're looking at. And like I said, they're locally out of Akron, and we're going to take a trip down there and see what they're like. A couple other things. Department took a vote, all of us collaboratively, to see if we are going to remain with the blue overhead lights on our cruisers, or if we want to transition back to red and blue. It was a tie. I was the decision maker to make the tie, to break the tie. I'm sorry, I'm old school. I like red and blue. We've had an account where somebody said, I didn't pull over because I didn't think it was a police car with just blue. No. Yes. So red and blue, everyone knows is police. So I just, and there are some studies, there's pros and cons both sides, but there is things about fog and distances and time of day and that depending what you read, some say that it is better to have the transition to the colors. So we're going to be transitioning as we move forward to red and blue. Lastly, County EMA, each year they put out to the fire department, police department, it's more or less an asset or equipment report. They want to know just an annual audit of things that we have available to us in the event of an emergency that other cities could use. Do you have four-wheelers? Do you have any kinds of gas munitions, any kind of drones, things like that? So this way, it is a great repository. If something happens, the county can say, hey, you need 5 more drones, 6 more drones. They know what cities they can pull out from, or if you need four-wheelers or anything like that. This way, there's a quick list that the county is able to provide. So completing that and getting that into them as well. We've also been working on parking lot expansion project, just looking at what we can do to gain 6, 7, 8 more slots to the rear. So we've been looking at the viability of that project, and I want to thank all the hard work from Trustee Cole and also Township Administrator. Thank you for all your work, Area, as well. But we're moving forward with that and seeing if we're able to just gain a little bit more space as we get more employees and also more cruisers. Lastly, please come and join us always with the coffee with the chief, which is last Thursday of the month. It's going to be Thursday, February 29th at 9 a.m. here in this building. And it's always a good time. And I think, Gary, you're going to be at the next one as well. So I will. Yeah, please come and join us. Also, and we have some great Angel's pizza as well. So thank you. Moving on lastly to our stats. CAT entries that we have are 529. Incident reports, we had 17 motor vehicle accidents, were 9 arrests, were 5, and traffic citations 46. And then last is community engagements, we're at 41. Other than that, that completes my report unless there's any questions from the board.
Any questions? I have a quick one. So with the whole red and blue versus just blue, like,
Yeah.
how simple is that? Like, you just flip a switch?
It is, it's nothing more than just programming. It's that easy now in program, it's crazy, so it's a new program. So as we move forward and we start to receive the new vehicles, the Tahoe, we sign anyone. Our vehicle maintenance officer, Sergeant Kovic, and he's even put red and blue as well, he said he likes it better. And it's a really easy transition, and we're just gonna phase out, we're not gonna do them all at once, but start transition.
How did we get to just blue? Was that just?
It's OSP does it, OSP does it, and that is their thing. And like I said, it depends what you pick up and read. I just, but yes, I mean, me, I'm a traditionalist, a police car is red and blue or red, it just stands out better. I just, and like I said, there's information you can find on it that says during fog, adverse conditions, they say that the rods and cones in our eyes that we see blue better at night, but we see red better during the day. So there is some data behind it, data. Great. Thank you.
All right, moving on, legal counsel, Mr. Matthews.
Nothing tonight, thank you.
All right.
Can we answer one question that is online that you want to answer?
Yeah, we can do that with that. Is that okay?
Yeah, with that. So there's a question online that says, can you please speak more to the plot of land at the end, Laurel Lane and Stearns, the Blau?
Right. So,
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what the question is asking, but the parcel that's being formally platted, if you will, and dedicated as a public road is a standalone parcel. It runs to the east of Stearns. It's about 70 feet in width. There are 2 parcels at the end of Laurel, but they're not affected by this platting at all. There'll be no change whatsoever there. So it's just the single parcel that has always functioned as the, what would that be, the western segment of Laurel Lane that's being formally dedicated. Hopefully that answers the question.
right, and it's always been owned by the township, but we're dedicated.
Yeah, I pulled the deed as part of this process. It looked like it was deeded to the 3 trustees back in the 50s, 57 or 58. For whatever reason, just hadn't been formally platted, so it's being all cleaned up. And in fact, we can take it to the extent of actually adjusting the road mileage system after the plat is approved.
Okay, great. Yeah. It's always good to, catch stuff like that from 50 years ago.
Be surprised if stuff pops up, so yeah, it's always a cleanup exercise, but
Thank you. Anything else, Brad?
No, no other questions. Then from my standpoint, well, I'm just finalizing the budget, so we'll get that hopefully next meeting. And also our financial statements for the end of the year, our new angle by the end of this month. So I'll finalize that with you next week.
Okay.
That's it.
Great. Before we move on to the rest of our agenda, primarily our legislative agenda, I need to amend the agenda. We're going to add item F. L3 sign and image quote post and panel sign in the amount of $5,807 includes installation. And item G, Bright Ideas shop quote for dog park and nature trail sign, $5,023. I'll make that motion.
Second.
Okay, and to approve the amendments to 2 new business items, trustee Alton
Yes.
and trustees Bear.
Yes.
All right, we have no old business items. Moving on to new business items. Item A, policy and procedure for township hiring new position / position fill. I've asked Administrator Yalanowski to say a few words about this because I think it's a really important item.
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So I've been here for, let me just see if I can do the quick math in my head, 4 months now. And one of the things I, easily identified is we didn't really have a procedure to follow in for hiring. And so Kevin, our HR director, and I, we kind of sat down and we kind of went step by step what it would take. And so I'm not taking the credit for this. I'll leave it to Kevin. He did a good job putting all the necessary steps together and kind of detailing it in a very easy to follow kind of roadmap. So It's really just a hiring process flow chart. So, really anyone could pick it up and take it and run with it. So, yeah, really happy to have it in place now.
No, absolutely. I think it's really important. And I don't imagine it requires a vote, but just, I think symbolically, it's probably good to give it one. Is that okay, Lee?
Yeah.
Madam Trustee?
Yeah.
All right. I'll make a motion to approve that.
Second.
Okay, to approve the new policy procedure for hiring process flow chart. Trustee Allen.
Yes.
Trustee Zurich.
Yes.
All right, item B, Henderson Products quote 2024 salt/sand spreader and pre-wet in the amount of $55,000. Director Williams, you want to speak to this?
Oh, absolutely. So I spoke during my report, this has to do with the possible purchase. If we were to get the grant, from the EPA, the chlorine reduction grant. So I mean, I have not received word on that. So this was one of the pieces of equipment that I would utilize that.
Well, I think we'll move to table this then, if you're okay with that, just
Sure.
because he needs to get
Yeah.
the grant first.
He needs to get the grant first, yeah. Yep,
All right, so I'll make that motion.
second.
Okay, I have a motion to table, new business item B, the, new spreader and pre-wet. Trustee Paul.
Yes.
Trustee Barrett.
Yes.
All right, moving on to new business item C. Triple Crown runner Katie Klooch, 7-time Division I state champion. As we were talking about, the state championships that we have to celebrate, or just championships in general, including Katie Najat, our Olympian, who's born and raised in the township, as well as the lacrosse team, which won its first state championship last year. We realized while talking about those that we left out Katie Klooch, who has been really a bit of a phenom and could potentially one day be a future Olympian. So this item is really on here just for awareness because we missed it with the last agenda, but she will also be on the sign that we are updating. So no vote necessary on this item. Just want folks to be aware of it. New business item D, Police Department assigning part-time / fill-in school resource officer Cody Reeser. I think Chief Adam articulated this clearly in his report. So I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, to approve police department assigning part-time fill-in school resource officer called research. Trustee Paul.
Yes.
Trustee Barrett.
Yes.
All right, congratulations to Cody. New business item E, HCW Environmental Consultants proposal to provide a wetland delineation for the proposed Greenway Trail located between Stearns Road and Fitch Road. Do we need any discussion on this item? Either you want to speak to this?
Well, I can speak. I mean, really, it's the next step in our design process for the Greenways Trail. So we reached out to several companies, I think 3 or 4. We received 2 proposals. The other one, this one, was from HCW. The other one, I'm drawing a blank on the name. I just remember the amount. That one was about $8,000. This one's much more reasonable at $34,21. So we'd like to keep that moving forward.
So this is the one you're recommending?
Yes,
Yep.
yes.
All right. Well, with your recommendation, I'll move to approve.
Second.
Okay, to approve the HZW environmental consultants proposal. Trustee Cole.
Yes.
And Trustee Barrett.
Yes.
And with that, I also want to update folks that we're still waiting to hear back on an additional $200,000 that we've applied for from the county for this project. We received a partial funding award from NOACA for our portion of the Greenway Trail. So it's very exciting, but in order to make this a reality, we got to keep competing for more dollars here. So this is just really the preliminary phase. New business item F, L3 sign and image quote, post and panel. $5,807 includes installation. I'll move to approve.
Second.
Okay, to approve item F, the L3 sign and image quote. Trustee Paul.
Yes.
Trustee Barrett.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman?
Yeah.
So item F was for the entrance sign on Bagley with all the, different, champions.
Right, so we discussed this.
And then item number, or letter number G is for our dog park sign.
Right. So, yeah, item G, Bright Idea shop quote for dog park and nature trail sign in the amount of $5,023. I'll make a motion.
Second.
Okay, to approve item G, the Bright Ideas shop quote. Trustee Paul.
Yes.
And Trustee Barrett.
Yes.
All right, moving on to the consent agenda, items available on request. Item A, meeting minutes, February 2024. I think I caught one issue in there where it should say Greenway. We'll make that,
Yep.
we'll make that adjustment. I don't think there were any other adjustments in the minutes unless you saw anything, Lisa.
No.
Item B, payment of bills and payroll. And that's it for the consent agenda. So I'll move to approve it.
Second,
Okay, to approve, consent agenda items both A and B, trustee Almond,
Yes.
and trustee Zare.
yes,
Next, we have a limited home rule resolution, resolution LHR 001/2024, authorizing tree planting and maintenance on public property and emergency removal on private property. Want to give our administrator and our service director credit for putting this together. I think this is a really important item. I don't know if either of you two want to speak to it at all or just let it speak for itself.
I'll turn it to Eric. He did bulk work, so.
Well, I mean, it's basically a tree ordinance that serves to regulate planting, removal, and maintenance of trees in Olmsted Township. Its purpose is all to protect and preserve trees for various reasons such as environmental conservation, maintaining urban green spaces, improving air quality, enhancing property values, and promoting overall community well-being. So kind of gives us the overseer to do all those things. It's a great opportunity for our department, and we do a little bit of that now, but basic trimming as far as also, but those will kind of give us a little bit more extensive.
Eric, that's a good, you could use a new chipper for that then.
Yeah, it always does. Yeah, no, it's great to have a tree program, and I think that all those things you articulated are values that our residents are very much in line with. So I'll make a motion to approve this resolution.
second,
And to approve, yes, limited home rule, 001/2024, the authorizing of the tree planting and maintenance on, public property. Trustee Paul.
Yes.
Trustee Zare.
yes,
All right. Resolution, next on, back to normal resolutions, not limited home rule resolutions. Resolution 008/2024, authorizing acceptance of dedication of Laurel Lane. I think law directors addressed the question. Any other discussion on this item? I'm happy to move to approve.
second,
To approve resolution 008/2024, authorizing the acceptance of dedication of Laurel Lane. Trustee Paul.
Yes.
Trustee Zare.
yes,
All right, moving on to resolution 009/2024, imposing a moratorium on adult use cannabis operators within Olmsted Township. Before we vote on this, I do just want to clarify that the state has passed and voted on issue 2. There are many folks in Olmsted Township who have voted for issue 2. However, the state has not adopted rules around issue 2, and they are considering changes to the issue as it was an initiated statute and not a constitutional amendment. So since there are a lot of things in flux, I think the board felt it was appropriate to impose a moratorium for about a year while the state gets its act together, and then we can come to a determination about these things at a later date. So would you like to make that motion?
sure, I'm gonna move to approve,
I'll second.
Okay, and to approve resolution 009/2024, imposing a moratorium on adult use cannabis operators within Olmsted Township. Trustee Zare.
yes,
Yes. All right, and then we do have public comment not related to the agenda here. We have Marty Lecter. Welcome back, Marty. It says railroad hazardous and legislature tax discussion. You're welcome to stand up and speak to both of those first.
Just, I was, at a meeting yesterday, and, Mayor, Fuller from the village was talking about something going on at Noaco, in which he had
Sure.
said that it had turned out that Norfolk Southern couldn't possibly identify the bulk transfer of dangerous chemicals because, and apparently somebody went back and discovered that one of the agreements with Goosenik back in the end of '98 or something like that, as they changed all the railroad around, we got the underpasses and all that. If they're committing to do this, so all of a sudden they decided that I guess they probably couldn't do that. So I think it's just so critical here with everything going past here. There's apparently going to be an app so that, you know, if there's a railing or something like that, people will be very promptly informed of it as opposed to, well, we'll find out for you, you know, something. And it's just critical. I mean, it's going to happen. So, and apparently, Mayor Graven has been in on these consultations, so I hope it's just filtering over to us. So, and the other thing is that the legislature is busy weighing ways of trying to lessen tax burden, possibly trying to get rid of income tax, reform property taxes and all that. But brought out time and again, and the stuff I've been listening is the fact that it's wonderful to encourage development and hand out tips and economic incentives, but that just puts more load onto the residential homeowners, and so many people are losing their homes because the increase in value and the increase in taxes. We may have this tip brings this in, but then the homeowners are carrying the cost of the services for these things. So it's just something, I think you mentioned it if you do a newsletter or something, that people are going to be concerned about that.
Yeah.
Get slang. So.
No, you're spot on, Marty, with both of those, but particularly with the last one you just mentioned, we were having a pretty significant discussion for about 20 minutes beforehand about some of the changes being contemplated at the State House and how if you eliminate the state income tax, it reduces the revenues that they have to provide property tax relief in communities like Olmsted Township. And I know that I'm very concerned that there are proposals right now to do property tax relief and then force local entities to pay for it, you know, in the state, making them do that. So I'm all for.
And one of the points that I made that I thought particularly that they made very important is, you know, this money is going to come away from your schools too.
Right.
And often, so the TIF money, well, they'll still pay for the schools, but they're not going to pay for the social services, and people voted to pay for those social services. They didn't vote for you to take that money and give it to a development. But the point is that somebody said, well, you want to be able to hire well-qualified, well-educated workforce. You got to pay for schools, so you have it. So I just think it's, you know, and I might, as I say, a small item maybe in the newsletter, just to let people know that this is something people are looking at.
Yeah.
It sounds great, no more taxes, but somebody's got to pay.
I don't disagree with you at all, and I think that the property tax issue is so intertwined with the school system, not just in the township.
Jobs, the enforcement auditors, which I'm sure you're aware of, and they said, it's not the valuation. That's not the problem. We try to evaluate it at, you know, market value across the board, but it's what they're getting sucked rate wise. So.
Right. Well,
Okay.
and I appreciate the thoughts, and for your other thought, I know that we passed a resolution, a year and a half ago in support of Senator Brown and Senator Vance's railway safety bill. That bill would require notification to local governments about hazardous materials being transported through their communities. That's something we're all very supportive of. The more I've worked on railroad safety issues in my state job, the more surprised I've been by how carte blanche a lot of these railroad companies have it.
The same stuff was passed, it went back and it didn't matter.
Yeah, it's really, really unfortunate, but that's something that we've advocated on before, we'll continue to advocate for. Yeah, 100%. I don't know, Lisa, do you have anything to say about all that?
No.
Okay. All right, very good. We are going to move into executive session, and I believe it's the number one is 1G. 1G. Jim, what is the?
Yeah, it's for personnel, employment, discipline, discharge, the compensation of the public employee under G1.
Very good. I'll move to go into executive session.
Second.
Okay, and to approve under the executive session, trustee.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you for coming.
Thank you all for being
Thank
here.
you.
Thank you. You want to call him? When you get a chance.
Yes.
I appreciate it. I appreciate all the. Yeah.
Just a little.
Hi there.
I know Chris isn't gonna be here, you're gonna be here, which is great. And I just say, sir, smart, you know, the report that our department gives is very important to me, and to all the residents in the township. Like some, I think, when we go coffee with the chief, if there's gonna be somebody here from the fire department early, to take 5 or 10 minutes to.
We're signing out.
Report. Yeah, the reports that you have here, spot on. That's what we wanna hear.
Mhm.
They want to hear how their money is being spent,
Sure.
how good these fire